Hello, 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 hello. You guys, welcome, 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 welcome. And so, you guys, I am having a conversation today. You guys know me. I love, love, love. But first of all, let me introduce myself just in case there's someone on here who does not know who I am. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my space. My name is Beverly Walkower. I am a business strategist specifically for established Christian female coaches who desire to accelerate their income and their impact without compromising their Christian values. And so, you guys, today's conversation is going to be all about pricing. And so, as coaches, as kingdom coaches, pricing is going to be key. And so, I actually have a special guest with me because I know sometimes you guys get tired of me just ranting and raving when it comes to pricing and things like that. So, I brought on a special guest. Actually, I am part of his summit, and so I'm going to share this conversation. I'm going to share the stage, and we're going to have this conversation. And it's actually going to be a couple of us having this conversation. And so I am going to go ahead and bring on, and you guys, as you're coming on into the live, so whichever platform you're joining us from, so Facebook, personal page, business page, Facebook group, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, we're just all over the world right now. We're all over the world right now. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Dr. J. So give me a second to make sure that I click the right buttons and get this right, this type of thing. So Dr. J, I am super excited about today's conversation. Hey, 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 hey. And you guys definitely make sure you share this broadcast out. Usually I actually don't even ask them to share. I really don't. But today I am. I'm going to ask you guys to share. So whichever platform you are joining us on, joining us from, if there is a share button, share it. How about that? We're going to share the love today. So you guys, like I said, as you can see, which direction? Over here. I don't even know which way. He's over there. There you go. Yes. I have brought on the amazing Dr. Jason Baca. So you'll hear me affectionately call him Dr. J. There you go. And so, Dr. J, welcome, welcome, welcome to MySpace. MySpace. Remember what that used to be a platform,
MySpace,
right?
that was a real thing once upon
Yeah,
a time.
I
Yeah.
think it may still actually be because I think I saw somebody's MySpace link the other day, and I
No
was
way.
like, "Have we stepped? What was it, the 1990s or something like that?" I'm like,
Right.
"What are we doing?" So
That's
I have
awesome.
invited Dr. J to come in and have this conversation. My audience is so used to me ranting and raving about pricing. And so Dr. J is putting on this absolutely amazing summit, the Kingdom Coaches Summit, which actually kicks off tomorrow, Dr. J.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Kicks off tomorrow. And the funny
Thursday, May 5th is tomorrow. So
yes, so I
depending on
have
when
the
you're watching this, yeah.
there we go. So I have the link of wherever this video is. The link to the summit is there. So you guys, if you have not already signed up for the summit, please make sure that you sign up for the summit. But Dr. J, I'm going to tell you this funny story. So I'm talking to my prayer partner this morning, and y'all don't tell nobody else this, okay? You guys don't tell nobody else. So I'm talking to my prayer partner this morning. I'm like, yeah, I have to do I'm doing a little conversation. I'm part of a summit. I said, the summit is next month. Like that. I said, it's the summit is next month. It's May 5th. She was like, "You mean tomorrow?" I said, "No, it's in May. It's April." Dr. J, I thought it was April. I thought it was April, and so I'm like, "Oh yeah, the summit is next month." And she was like, "Bev, it is May the 4th." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, it's tomorrow. We start tomorrow."
That's awesome.
So, Dr. J, look, I am back in the present. Look, I'm making sure. Look, I was living in the past, but I'm going to go ahead and come on. It is May the 4th at the time of this recording. The summit kicks off tomorrow. Here they go, Dr. J. They're coming in. And then which I also call Dr. J. I call her Dr. J too. So she's in here laughing at me. It's all good, though. It's all good. It's all
right.
good.
Fellow
So
Dr. J.
Yes. So Dr. J, Dr. Jason, talk to us a little bit about the summit.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for having me. And probably the coolest thing about the summit that we're kicking off tomorrow is Coach Bev dropping some knowledge on some pricing. So the summit is basically, it's for Christian coaches who want to launch, grow, or scale profitable and God-honoring coaching businesses, particularly online. And so one of the reasons why Coach Bev was just a no-brainer as far as having a featured guest for the summit, because she's a Christian, she's a coach, she helps Christian coaches. And I love what you say when you introduce yourself, which is helping established female Christian coaches build their businesses without compromising their Christian values. And so that's a huge part of it. That's why it's called the Kingdom Coaches Virtual Summit. Is we are all Christians, we're all coaches, many of whom are 6-figure and almost even 7-figure coaches who are coming together and just dropping the knowledge and trying to put in your hands to everybody who comes, to put in your hands everything you need to launch, grow, and scale. So Coach Bev's talking about pricing. We have people talking about productivity, how to get more clients, how to blow up on social, how to build your brand online, how to get on more stages, how to speak more, how to launch a podcast. I mean, how to run ads, how to start a monthly membership site, literally everything that you could possibly need to be successful in your online coaching business. And of course, we have the honor and privilege of Coach Bev coming on, doing a session all about pricing and how to set up your prices. And a quick little teaser, we actually do land on some numbers. So for those of you who are like, I'm tired of hearing people say, it depends, it depends, it depends. First of all, it does depend. But secondly, Coach Bev, actually, we get to some numbers. And so I'm excited for you guys to join us. Just go to kingdomcoachessummit.com if you're interested. It's a completely free event. You'll see an invitation there to go VIP if you'd like. That just allows you to keep all the recordings and the replays of all the sessions. You get the VIP Pro bundle, and 100% of all of the proceeds from the VIP upgrade goes to support some Christian missionaries in the Middle East and Africa who work specifically with orphans of war and refugees. So that's about the whole thing in a nutshell. Hope you guys can join us, kingdomcoachessummit.com.
So you guys, once again, that clickable link, wherever you're joining us from, so whether or not you're joining us from Facebook or my personal page or my business page, in my group, on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, did I leave anything out? I think that pretty much covers all the
MySpace.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Let's go to MySpace. Yes. So wherever you are joining us from, there is a clickable link somewhere. It's also scrolling at the bottom as well. So you guys definitely ensure that you join us. Okay, somebody said the link is not working. So we'll definitely make sure that we get that clickable link to you. It should be. I just clicked on it. Did I miss it? Yeah, I just clicked on it.
Yeah, no, that looks like it looks like it's spelled right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So definitely try it again. If the link is not working, click on it again. Maybe Dr. J, we have so much traffic going to the link that he wasn't able. That's what we're gonna go with. Let's just go ahead.
Y'all shut down the site. You crashed the site. Yeah.
See, Dr. J, you see this, right? Can you see this comment? Do you see that comment down there? Look, I'm telling you, my space is still up. I'm telling you. I saw someone.
You remember Top Friends? You had you could pick your top 5 friends or something like that on MySpace. Do you remember that at all?
You know what? I barely remember MySpace. I don't even know if I was really on MySpace like that, really. So
you could customize your profile page to whatever background you wanted. You have theme music. You pick a song, so when people land on your page, it starts playing "This is how we do."
All right, don't get me started. Okay, Dr. J, don't get me started because these people like, Bev, I need to hear about these prices and all this stuff like this, and you guys.
This is fun.
I mean, there you go. Then you would fight about who's gonna be in your top 5. See, you just had to rotate it.
Yep,
rotate it out
maybe
every week. Rotate it out. A new top 5. I'm just saying. Yes. Hello. So you guys, come on in. So as you guys can see, I am not by myself today. I have the amazing Dr. Jason Baca, who we affectionately call Dr. J. And so he has a pretty cool summit that he is putting on, which kicks off tomorrow. So at the time of this recording, tomorrow would be Thursday, May the 5th. Don't ask me because I thought it was April. I really thought it was April. So look, don't ask Ben what the date is. But it kicks off on Thursday, May the 5th. So whichever platform you're joining this live on, there should be a clickable link somewhere. It's also scrolling below us as well. And so, Dr. J, let me ask you this question first. I'll drop the link in the chat throughout our conversation as well. So that way people can click on it too. So Dr. J, let me ask you this. Why did you choose to include the particular topic of pricing for this particular summit?
Yeah. So as everybody knows who's listening to us right now, pricing is one of the hardest things to wrestle with when trying to successfully navigate the coaching business and your coaching industry, right? And there's so much packed up with pricing. as it relates to like our money stories, our mindsets, what we think is a big number, what we think is a low number, what we think the other person's going to think based on what number we say when it comes time to tell them what the investment is. And yeah, you and I, Coach Bev, we both work with tons and tons of coaches, and of the handful of things that pop up the most, pricing is always like right there at the top of the list. So it was just a no-brainer to have Coach Bev, the queen of pricing, come onto the summit and drop some knowledge on pricing. Yeah, I'd love to jump into that right now. Some of the pricing stuff, I'd love to pick your brain on some pricing stuff as well. But yeah, it's always like top of the list. Anytime we're on Clubhouse and we do a room about pricing, it's always popping. There's like hundreds of people show up because everybody wants to know about pricing.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And even with what you just said, Dr. J, you know, that's the number one reason. One of the number one reasons. I'll say that tied with how to create my offer. Like those two, that like their pricing. Because the thing is, when you get your pricing on point and you know how, and you always hear me talk about, you know, when you look at your offer through the lens of the transformation, it's not just, you know, they get 12 Zoom calls with me. It's not just a workbook. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the coaches, Dr. J, they have to shift how they even view what it is that they offer. And for a lot of them, because it's so easy and it comes so easy to them, that they don't really think about the level of transformation that people experience or that will experience when they work with them. And so being able to get them to shift their perspective and their mindset, because, you know, it does. I'm not even going to lie. When I see coaches just saying, raise your price, that causes my skin to crawl. Like it causes my skin to crawl because I'm like, it's more to it than just raising your pricing. Because think about it. If it was as simple as just raising your prices, wouldn't everyone be out here selling $50,000, $100,000 services, right? Like we would all be doing that. So it has to be more to it than just raising your prices. And that's the key piece to it.
And that's why you and I connect so much, because we're both huge fans of outcome-oriented coaching, right? It's all about the outcome. It's all about the transformation. It's all about the results. And from a marketing point of view, that's what people are paying for. That when I pay you, you know, $1,000 or $100,000, what I'm paying for is not your time. I'm not paying for your time. I'm not paying for your Zoom calls. I'm not paying for your program. I'm ultimately paying to get to the end of the program, which is where I'm going to see the results. So whether you're a health coach that helps people lose weight, right? What they're investing is they want to lose weight, right? They want to look good. They want to feel good. They don't want to do a bunch of squats and burpees and push-ups. That's not what they're paying you so that you will make them do push-ups. They want to lose weight. They want to look and feel great. If you're a marriage coach, if you're a life coach, whatever kind of a coach that you are, I promise you, your clients are all about the outcome, and that's what they're paying for. And so when it relates to pricing, that's where it gets tricky. And I think that's where we get held up, is because we undervalue that outcome, or even worse, as coaches, we don't even know what that outcome is when we're trying to like solicit our services. And someone says, well, what is it that you do? It's like, well, I help people do this and this, and it's 12 weeks. And it's like, but that didn't tell me anything that this is about. And so, yeah, you're right. The offer, which is like the outcome, and the pricing, they go hand in hand, and you can't have one without the other.
There we go. And I just keep having these pop that made me think, what was that show with Bundy? What was the Al Bundy? I'm sorry. I just love it. What was that? Married with Kids. I'm sorry. Married Children. I'm sorry. When you said can't have one without the other, I'm sorry. That's in songs and movies. I'm telling you, I will quote a song and quote a movie in a heartbeat. My bad, Dr. J. I'm going to remain focused. And that was the thing, Dr. J. And so, you know, when Dr. J asked me to be a part of the summit and then specifically speak on pricing, and the one thing that, you know, and Dr. J hit it when he initially started this conversation, it can be so hard to land on a number because there are so many determining factors when it comes to pricing your services. And so the other part to it is the fact that where you start is not where you're going to end up. And so many people, they may look at the pricing that I said, or look at the pricing of the next coach, and then they start judging themselves. Well, oh my gosh, you know, they start shrinking, you know what I'm saying, and pulling back and all of that stuff because they're not there. But the thing is, what is that saying? You know, don't judge my chapter 12 by your chapter 1, whatever it is. You know, that type of thing, because you're not comparing the same thing. once again, there are so many factors that come into consideration. That's why I'm so transparent. The very first group coaching program I ever tried to sell was either $297 or $497 for 12 weeks. And Dr. J, I did this webinar series, and this person, she wanted to join it. It was one of the first webinars she wanted to join. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I got somebody on. And then she sent me an email later saying, well, hey, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it was only 12 weeks and, $290. And I'm thinking I'm doing a service by it's only $297, that thing. And then she ended up pulling out and didn't even move forward. And so, like I said, where I started out at $297 to where I am now with a $7,500 group program, I didn't start. This is year 6 specifically for me. So I didn't start here. But my thing is get started. Another thing I wish I would have had was someone to kind of support me when it came to the pricing, because I didn't have it initially. And so it wasn't until, Dr. J, I got frustrated with feeling frustrated, being annoyed, overworked. I felt like I was, quote unquote, living paycheck to paycheck, but it was in my business. I'm like, well, how in the world did I create this situation? I'm in my business, that type of thing. So, being in that space like that where, I literally, Dr. J, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
And so much of pricing really comes back down to confidence. That's what I've learned. Because, when you talk about the program $297 and people being like, I can't afford that. Like you said, we think that by dropping the price, that's going to make it available to more people. When in reality, and I know this is going to sound so crazy and so backwards, but it's actually the opposite. Usually you'll find that when you start raising your prices, you actually start getting more clients. I don't know why it works that way. It's just how we are as human nature, that when something is priced higher, we value it higher. And when something's priced lower, we value it lower. And the reason why we start down at $297 or something like that, even though we know this is at least a 5K type transformation, again, not 5K program, really what they're paying for is the transformation. So this is a 5K transformation, but we'll drop it down to $297 is just simply because we're not confident in the transformation. We're not confident in the results. We don't know that like this is really going to help them, that this is really going to achieve it. I don't know if you're listening right now, raise your hand, so to speak, if you've ever had that feeling where somebody agreed to work with you either for free or paid, and it just made you nervous, like, oh gosh, now it's time to deliver. Now I got to like get this person results. And what if it doesn't work for them? And like, what's that going to mean? And they're going to hate me and think I'm a fraud. And, and you just don't have any confidence. And what happens is a lot of times, like you said, if it was just raise your price, then raise your price. But most people can't do that because they don't have the confidence yet in their ability to coach and their ability to provide those outcomes and those transformations. And it's really not until you get in it and you run your first, grossly undervalued program that your eyes start to open up and you're like, man, what I'm doing here, this is worth way more than these like pennies that these people are paying. Or you start to get higher ticket clients, right? Somebody who will invest 1K or 5K or 10K or above. And you start to realize, man, it's so much easier to get people results when they invest at 5K than they do at 500. Like they're easier to work with. They get the results better. It's easier. Like there's less haggling, less problems. And so it's just a confidence game. Like you just got to jump in. And if you're starting off really low, then start off really low. But yeah, you're really going to have to build your confidence because you'll see. I mean, on my first, remember I told you this, Coach Bev, my very first $1,500 client, which at the time I was nervous to ask for. Like I thought that was so much money. Nobody's going to go for this. And I got my very first client at $1,500. And within the first session, it was like an 8-week program or 12-week program, something like that. Within the first coaching call, already started to see the light bulbs turn on in her mind and already started to see the results and already started to realize like what was going to happen for her in her life 8-12 weeks from now. And I already decided like from the first session, this has got to be way higher. This is $1,500 is way too cheap for this. And so I've never charged $1,500 again. But I didn't know that, or I wouldn't know that had I not just jumped in and just got going, like to build your confidence. Yeah.
And I love that. And this right here, even, as you and I were having the conversation during the summit, Dr. J, the one of the key pieces is that pesky imposter syndrome. And then, you know, of course, you know, I'm talking to my believers right now. So, you know, I'm talking to believers right now. And so my thing is, and this right here, when you mention the confidence, the certainty, those types of things, like when you understand whose you are and how he has equipped you. And but I tell people also, even as you level up in your business, you know, like it doesn't go away, like that imposter syndrome. So that's why it's so important for us, one, making sure we're standing on the word of God and what is it that God has said about me, and not what we're allowing either others or the enemy or even ourselves to whisper in our ear, you know, when it comes to that. But once again, when it comes to that pricing, and so just like you said, when Dr. J mentioned, you know, okay, wait a minute, he charged someone $1,500, they got this type of result. And like, wait a minute, okay. So for some of you guys that's going back and forth, even when it comes to that pricing, you know, I'll tell my clients, you know, put a price on it. You know, I don't want you going back and forth. Should it be 1,500 or 1,600? Don't do that. Don't you come in my presence talk about should it be 1,500 or 1,600. You know, you want to be able to put a price on there, help the people get the results, and then you can always raise your prices. You know what I'm saying? Because just like Dr. J mentioned, that confidence boost is like, okay, dang, I do know what it is that I'm doing. You know, I do know what it is that I'm talking about. Okay, God has equipped me for this thing, you know, for a time such as this, and to be able to support people in this capacity. And so that's actually one of the elements when it comes to pricing your services, are the results, you know, your own experience. You know, those are things that you want to take into consideration. So we made the comment earlier about it's all these different factors that you want to take into consideration. It really is like, it's not a marketing thing just to get you to come on as our client. It really is, you know, different factors that you do want to take into consideration when it comes to the pricing, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's all of the above. And that's why, you know, a lot of times when people say, so what should I price it? We always say it depends, right? Now, if you join the summit, Coach Bev does a whole section on pricing. She breaks down her framework, and we actually do get into some numbers, some industry standards, and some ranges that you're probably going to end up at, that for most of us coaches. So if you're part of the summit, you can hear her break all that down. But yes, so much of pricing all comes down to like the end result, and we keep talking about that. But ultimately, it also comes down to the client, right? To the type of person. There are clients out there who will gladly pay $5K or $10K that there are people out there who wouldn't pay $5 for. And so what happens is a lot of times we run into those $5 clients who are, all they do is complain and say how, you know, they think $5 is too much, and then they jump in and they want their money back immediately. Like, you know, and so we think, oh, no one will pay higher ticket, or like, and so the problem is we're just swimming with the wrong fish. You know, we're in the wrong pond. We're looking for the wrong thing in the wrong place. And instead, it's not got anything to do with us or our abilities or our coaching. It's got to do with we're in the wrong places looking for the wrong people. I need to go find, you know, I hate to say it this way, but I need to find better clients. Like,
and the funny part of what you're saying, you know, one of this summit came right on time, because one of the shifts that I'm even experiencing personally, you know, and my community is hearing me talk more about next level, your next level client, the next level when it comes to your pricing, the next level in your messaging. Because for some of you guys, the messaging that you're currently using is going to continue to attract the same type of person. But when you're looking to level up, just like Dr. J said, you know, that person that's sitting in your audience, you know what I'm saying? You're not speaking to him or her. So that's why she's not responding, because you're not speaking to her. And part of that, you speaking to her, is through the pricing. Because I'm telling you now, if you have a price on something, once again, if someone were to see, I'm sorry, I'm laughing at myself, this $297 program before that, whatever it was I had, you know, I'm blocking that out, you know, for 12 weeks, they're wondering what's wrong. Like the first thought, your ideal client is literally asking themselves, what is wrong with this offer? They're wondering what's wrong. And so while you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm doing them a service, oh my goodness, you know, I want to be affordable and all that other stuff that we attach to our brand, they're wondering what's wrong with it, period. So you're not even doing your ideal client a service. And so Dr. J, back to one of the things that you mentioned, just when it comes to us as humans and people, you know, you'll see these experiments all the time where they will take a $2 bottle of wine,
Mm-hmm.
put a label on it, put a particular price on it, and people will swear up and down that the more expensive wine
Right.
or
Yeah.
water, I'm talking to Christians, I can say wine, Jesus turned water into wine, they're tasting this thing and they're thinking that it's a $1,000 bottle of wine when it's just the $2 bottle of, I don't even drink wine, so what, I don't know, that type of thing. And so it's that perception, one, but two, when it comes to pricing, and one of the things that I always talk about, just like Dr. J mentioned, you guys, you have to be able to deliver on whatever the program promise is, whatever the outcome is, whatever the transformation is, you have to be able to deliver on that thing as well. So we're not just saying, put a $10,000 price tag on it, but then you're not able to deliver on what it is that you're saying that you can deliver on. So, of course, a part of that pricing as well. And once again, here we go with, it's all of these different factors that you do want to take into consideration. And like I said, during the summit, we literally go into, some of the top, I think it was top 5 or something like that, things you want to take into consideration. Some of you guys are like 5 things. I told you it is it's different things that you take into consideration. So not only the top 5, but just like Dr. J said, I actually say, okay, if this a group coaching program, I think that's how I did it. This is where you start. If it's one-on-one, like literally, at least for some of you guys, to give you a place to get started. Yeah. So that way you're not going back and forth about should it be 1,500 or 1,600. Like, no, we're not. We're going to eliminate that. The overthinking. At least Dr. J in my community and my people, I love my people, but I know my people and they overthink. They overthink. And so at least if you join us in the summit and when we talk about the pricing, it will eliminate some of that overthinking. Do you agree with me, Dr. J?
Yeah. So it's so good. I know we got to wrap up here in a minute, but here's something that really shifted my mindset because, this pricing stuff, I'm no different. I was just like everybody else. And like you said, every time there's a new level, there's always that nervousness of like, will somebody pay that much? Will somebody pay that much? So it's not like, Coach Bev or I have arrived at like, we don't, question our own pricing ever. But something that really shifted my mindset was I heard a coach say that coaching is a luxury, not a necessity. And that changed my life when I heard her say that. Coaching is a luxury, not a necessity. Nobody needs a coach necessarily, right? Especially if a lot of what we're doing is we're teaching people, right? We're coaching people, is that it's a luxury. Nobody needs a Ferrari. Right? Nobody really needs that. I guess if you're a Ferrari race car driver or something, maybe you need a Ferrari. But for the most of us, we just need a car to get us A to B. A Toyota Camry will do just fine. We don't need a Ferrari. But owning a Ferrari is a luxury, right? It's a luxury to be able to go that fast and go that quickly and drive in style, whatever. People can read a book and learn a lot of what you can teach them. They can watch YouTube videos for free. They can invest $1,000 or $2,000 in a do-it-yourself course. Having a coach, an actual person with experience or expertise to lead you and guide you and ask you questions and pull things out of you and help you give you insights and hold you accountable is a luxury service that is not going to be priced the same as a book, right? Or a course. Right. So it's a luxury service. And so the reason why it flipped for me is when you realize that coaching is the Louis Vuitton handbag, not the purse from Target, right? That it's a luxury item that few people can really afford, that few people are going to see the value in, and that it's kind of an exclusive thing. That's when you start to feel a little bit better about charging higher prices than you would a course, right? You can buy a course for $500 or $2,000 or whatever it is. Then it's like, okay, well, if they can learn all that stuff in a course by themselves without personalized, customized coaching, then how much more valuable is having a coach? And so when you start to recognize that, you don't have to feel bad that people can't afford you. And that's the real thing that I think we struggle with, especially as believers, that we think if I don't help them, then they're never going to achieve any sort of outcome. If I don't coach them, then they're never going to cross over this divide. They're never going to push past this. They're never going to, and you feel bad about turning them away because they can't afford it. And so, I mean, if you want to do pro bono work, you want to coach people for free, of course, do it. Like it can be an outlet, that can be a ministry. But you shouldn't feel bad that someone can't afford your Ferrari, Louis Vuitton type coaching luxury services. And then, just say, I'm sorry, like you can't afford it. thinking that it's a necessity. Like, if I don't do it, no one will. Like, they'll never cross that line without me. First of all, the Bible warns not to think too highly of ourselves, right? You ought not to think more highly of yourself than you should. And, if that person's only got $5, then buy the ebook. They only got $1K, then take my course, But if you want like personalized coaching, it's going to be more than a book or a course. So I think, that helped me.
Dr. J, I had to hide my face for a second because, and I don't know if you're able to see these comments that are flying in. People are saying the light bulb went off when you gave that analogy, when you made that comment, that type of thing. And that's the thing, you guys, when it comes to pricing, you don't have to lower your pricing for people if they cannot afford your one-on-one $15,000, whatever it is that you have, and they are at the $15 level and you have an ebook. They get into that ebook, the level in which they are able to invest like that. They get in there, get the results. What you see, so you guys, we have to stop discounting ourselves, and we do that all the time. And so, you guys, when you get to that space and and understand that, it makes a difference. So, Dr. J, you didn't even realize, look, earthquake moment right here. I don't know if you realize, look, I've only experienced one earthquake in my life here in Atlanta, and boom, we just had another one. So thank you so much for that, Dr. J. But that's the thing, though. And you guys, when it comes to pricing, and one of the things, because people like yesterday, Dr. J, literally, I had 2 coaching calls yesterday. One of my clients, she's putting together a $4,000 four-day retreat. For some people that heard that number, then I can't even get people pay me $97 to come in and I'm with them for 7 days. What is it about her and her looking at the transformation and her knowing what's going to transpire in this room to where she's confident to put that $4,000 price point on it? Another client of mine, she came in yesterday, Bev, initially she told me that program was $10,000. And then she told me that at a different time. And then when she got on the call with me, she said it was $15,000. So I'm like, okay, she came on and she realized, wait, I'm on this call with Bev. She know how I am. But Dr. J, by the time we got done with that conversation, her price point was at $25,000. We added 0 to that offer. We didn't add anything. And that's the part where with a lot of my people, and when we're talking about pricing, and I will say to them all the time, you don't have to add, because we try to add everything in the kitchen sink because we're trying to justify this price point of $5,000 or this investment of $10,000 or whatever. So you're throwing all of this stuff at people. You don't have to do that. So with that young lady that shifted from the $15,000 offer to the $25,000 offer, we added nothing to it. But what we did do was look at it through the lens of the transformation. And for her to be able to see that shift in herself. So I didn't have to come on here and say, girl, I need you, raise your price. I didn't have to say that. She was able, because I told you guys, and I mentioned that, literally I walked my clients through these 7 questions. And so it allowed for her, just like with coaching, it's that self-discovery type of thing. When she realized, well, wait a minute, I can't keep doing this and serving at the level that she's serving. And it's only at this particular price point, this particular investment type of thing. And so for a lot of you guys, that frustration that you're feeling, that resentment that you're feeling, because you're like, well, dang, I'm pouring all of this into it. I'm doing all of this stuff. And either one, they're not showing up. They come in and they're not engaged in what's going on. They're not doing the action steps that you assigned, all of that stuff. It's because you're trying to drag people across the finish line. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. There are literally people that's attached to you right now. And Dr. J, I always say on the low end, all of us right now, in our current community right now, without you ever bringing anybody new into your community, you have a minimum of about $50,000 in untapped revenue right now in your current audience. Some of you guys up to $500,000. But the thing is, 1, if you don't even know how to have that conversation with them, 2, because of your pricing, for a lot of you guys, you're actually repelling the people that you're supposed to be working with.
Right. And so, can I lean in on that?
Go ahead, Dr. J.
Can I lean on that? So if we're going to compare our coaching to luxury, not necessity, and we're going to compare it to like a Louis Vuitton handbag, or Louis Vuitton for those who speak French. So imagine you're like walking around the mall or something like that, and somebody comes up with an actual Louis Vuitton handbag, right? $10,000 handbag. Like it's not fake, it's not phony, it's the real deal. And they come up to you and they're like, "Hey, yo, I got this bag for sale." And you're like, "What?" And like, "It's Louis Vuitton, it's real, 100% authentic." And you're like, "Okay, how much?" And they're like, "Just give me like $50. $50 for a Louis Vuitton." Yeah, normal retail price about 10K, but I'll tell you what, I'll let you get it off me for $50. You're gonna be like, no, like you said, what's wrong with this? That can't be really a Louis Vuitton handbag. There's no way that's worth $10,000 if he's just trying to make a quick $50, right? But it literally is. It's not a fake. It's not a knockoff. It actually is a Louis Vuitton handbag, but nobody would buy it, even though it's at a severe discount. For just $50, you can buy a $10,000 handbag for $50, and nobody will buy it because nobody will believe that it's real. Nobody will believe that it's an actual Louis Vuitton handbag. And so I think for us, when we're saying, well, this, we can do so much together as a coach, I get you X results. It's like, how much you want? Just like, give me just like $2. Just give me like $2. It's like, no one's going to actually believe that you can actually get them the results until you raise those prices. Because what you just said, Coach Bev, is you're actually repelling people who would pay $10,000 for that handbag, but they don't believe it's real because you're just charging $50.
And Dr. J, that is so powerful. I don't know about you. I'm going to raise my hand to this right here. I want you to see that I'm raising my hand. I don't know how many other people have had the experience of you spoke to someone about your services and they were like, I'm not interested, don't have the money, whatever it is. And then you find out that they actually enrolled in another coach, work with another coach at a higher investment.
Yeah.
And you get to looking like, what in the world? That type of thing. You guys, once again, I'm telling you, for a lot of you guys, where you're thinking you're doing your person a service by discounting. And I will say this for the ladies in my audience, the people in my audience, they know that they're actually underpricing. They already know it. Like, it's not like when I come to them, they're like, damn, for real. They already know that they're undercharging for their services. And so once again, when you're able to really and truly walk boldly and confidently in what it is that you bring to the table, that outcome, that type of thing where you're so confident in what it is, and you realize, and this is something that I tell my clients, Dr. J, all the time. If you actually sat down and you tallied up the number of people that are your ideal clients, like actually your ideal clients, you can't possibly serve them all, period. So actually, they need to get in and work with you because you can't service everybody. So they need to hurry up and come work with you. And so part of that is, one, ensuring that your pricing is on point. And so you guys, like I said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But the thing is, if you want specifics on, okay, what should I price this at? What are some of those things that I do need to take into consideration when it comes to my pricing? Because once again, you can't run around here and say, hey, my goal is $15,000 this month, and then your highest price service is $297, and you don't have that active and engaged in a large community to do it. Like, you're setting yourself up for that disappointment. And then once again, that's when the frustration comes in. That's when you get to say, well, God, this not working. And maybe God, maybe I misheard God, and maybe God doesn't. That's when you start doing all that other stuff over there.
Yep.
And it wasn't, once again, it didn't have anything to do with that. It's because, one, your pricing is out of alignment. But once you get that pricing in alignment, it makes such a huge difference. So you guys, if you want to know specifically on factors that you want to take into consideration when it comes to pricing your services, if you're those people that are like, okay, Bev, I need a number, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Make sure that you sign up for the summit. So once again, whatever platform you're joining this live from, the clickable link is there. So either above or below the video. And then it's also scrolling below our little next down here, or across our checks, or whatever, however you want to say it, it's scrolling as well. So you guys, if you want that specific information, and once again, when it comes to you as a coach, and whether or not you want to know how to start the price off, or you're at a space where you're like, okay, it's time for me to raise my prices, and so you want to know what to take into consideration, I want you to join us on the summit. And so once again, the clickable link is there. You will go to www.kingdomcoachessummit.com. All the information is there. Also, if you want the VIP access, do that, because there's a nice little goodie in there where, yours truly, I'll hop on a call with you and we'll have a specific conversation
Mm-hmm.
about your specific offer. So I'm not giving you general broad, right? No, your specific offer and what's going on with you. So once again, I would love for you guys to actually upgrade to the VIP option. And then once again, all of those proceeds are going to an absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing charity as well. So Dr. J, did we do it all? Did we cover it all? Are we
We
good?
got it all. Yeah. One final thing about the summit is,
Yes.
I mean, we really put together this summit to try to put in your hands every single thing that you need in order to launch, grow, and scale a profitable and God-honoring coaching business. So not only do we have Coach Bev's awesome session, especially if you go VIP, you get to keep the recordings of all these sessions. But her awesome session about pricing, there's other speakers in there who talk about getting on more stages, getting more clients, blowing up on social media, how to build your brand online. I'm doing a session on how to launch a monthly membership site. So if you want to have recurring passive income in your coaching business, so it's like, running ads, like, if whatever it is that you feel like you're stuck on, we try to put together the full gamut of what you would need to take that next step. So if you go to kingdomcoachessummit.com, get registered for free, upgrade to VIP if you'd like to, and get everything you need to take that next step in your coaching business.
And one thing I want to add on to what Dr. J just said, it comes from the kingdom perspective.
Yeah.
The speakers that are on there, once again, so we know as kingdom entrepreneurs, we do not do things the way that the world does things. And being in this online space, there's so much noise in this online space, and you'll end up getting caught up. So once again, Dr. J, God laid it on his heart to create a summit that was specific for us. So we have a place to go. We have people that we can tap into, connect with, and all of that awesome stuff. And it comes from a kingdom perspective. All right. Dr. J, any last words you want to leave with the audience before we close out today?
Yeah, just to be encouraged that this is a journey. This whole launching, growing, scaling a coaching business is a journey. Nobody arrives overnight. As a matter of fact, all of us that work together, Coach Bev and so many of the other great leaders, some of the speakers on the summit, we would say that we have not yet arrived, right? We're all still learning. We're all still growing. Like, if you don't hit a home run the first time you ever touch a baseball bat, it's okay. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Doesn't mean you're not called to play baseball, right? It just means you got to learn how to swing a bat better, right? You got to get your reps in. You got to keep swinging. You got to keep taking pitches. And so that's the same thing with coaching. Like, you just got to keep making offers. You got to keep getting out there. You got to keep working with Coach Bev to keep tweaking that price. You got to keep showing up on social media, keep creating content. Like, you learn, you grow, you adjust, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. And don't get too frustrated if things are not happening as quickly as you would like them to, or if you hit bumps along the way on the road. It's okay. It's normal. Doesn't mean that you're not qualified or cut out for this. It happens to all of us, right? Even Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. So it happens. We learn, we grow. So just stay in it. Don't quit. Keep going. And of course, keep up with Coach Bev, because she'll lead you in the right direction.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. J. And you guys, like I said, if you have not signed up for the summit, please go ahead, click the link, go ahead and get registered. Once again, when I tell you the mindset shifts that you're going to experience, once again, just that comfort and peace and knowing that, once again, that there are others out there that get it and understand it from that kingdom perspective, being that, believer in business type of thing. And so once again, Dr. J, thank you so much for coming on and having this conversation with me and my audience and all of these awesome people that are here. Those of you that are catching us on the replay, make sure that you go ahead and register as well. Thank you so much, Dr. J. I know I went over my time. Yeah, I was like, look, Dr. J said I got to go. Look here. Okay, so Dr. J, I am sorry for holding this over, but I pray as I'm looking at the comments, literally, like I said, even the shifts, you guys, if you experience a shift from just this 45 minutes, imagine the shift, the earthquake, all of that perspective, changes in your perspective and mindset, as not only you listen to the session about pricing, but once again, all the other kingdom coaches. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us, you guys. And we will see you on the other side of this live. Take care.